So the consequence of failure and protecting your assets is so important. The high cost of production site shutdowns, you want to minimise that as much as possible. You've got the health and the safety issues to consider, the instruments and machine damage potential, and the high cost of repair. So really making sure that when you are doing it, you're doing it properly. You're not just putting a Band-Aid on it for a short period of time. Those Band-Aids don't last long. And the important thing is you are having that longevity. Because if you don't, there's particular things that, have happened, and we've seen people die in circumstances where they've had failures of tanks or they've had acid leaks, and people have been injured as a result of that. So it's all about maintenance, and that maintenance being done in the appropriate time, so that it's not the last thing you think of in remediating your plant. Some of the things, why does it matter, for example? So you've got this risk of structural failure. If it's not being noticed, and I know some of the plants that I've been to, you can't see underneath the tanks, or they're up high and you sort of aren't sure of what's happening below the tanks or under the tanks, around the tanks. And before you know it, you've got major structural failure and potential a tank can fall, or it is difficult to repair. And it's going to cost a lot if it's not done quickly. And when you've got the leaching of product and dripping of product going into the ground, into the concrete, dribbling through the brick floors and so forth, there might be a leaching issue, and the EPA are going to be having discussions around how to protect that from happening. And in this case, overseas, they had the water table was infected, and they had to bring in bottled water and tank water. So this is what happens when you get the leaks and into the environment. You get the product, if it's not the right product, and that's been placed on the floor in your bunded areas or your secondary containment areas, there is going to be some failure, and you're going to have significant damage to that containment area, and it will need immediate fixing. The worst case, you've got this happening where, we had this tank rupture in 2013, and in uranium mines, we are very much all over a lot of the mines around Australia and remediating their assets, their plants. And you get this happening, and the result of this financial risk is that the plummeting dollar, or the value of that business, plummets. And, that's, if you're an international company, that's something you want to steer well clear of.